Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Distinguished viewer and listener, still, how do you relate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when nightfall descends? As a believer, you need to relate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in such a way at night that when the day is approaching, you do not like it. You feel some form of sadness. Why? Because the night is departing and the day is approaching. One Sahaba said that I am someone inni la afrahu bil layli idha jaa wa ahzanu bin nahari idha jaa. He says so beautifully that I used to rejoice. I have this exhilarating flavor and feeling about the night when it descends, about the night as it darkens, and I become so sad when the day is approaching. What is making him happy when the nightfall descends? Due to the quality of time and interaction and relationship he has with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What makes him sad when the day is approaching? Because he would be deprived of the ecstasy, if I would put it, the spiritual ecstasy that he would get via interacting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by night. Imam al-Shafi'i, the giant Islamic scholar, put it so beautifully. Ahlul layli fi laylihim aladhu min ahli lahwi fi lahwihim. Subhanallah. Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah said that the spiritual ecstasy the pious get by obeying Allah at night is far more wholesome than the supposed pleasure the sinners will get for dining and wining at midnight. The spiritual ecstasy the pious get via interacting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by night is far greater and more wholesome than the supposed pleasure that the sinners will get after dining and wining at midnight. Dear one, Mr. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reported as saying that afshu salam wa at'imu at-ta'am wa sallu bil-layli wan-nasu niyam tadkhulu al-jannata bi-salam. My interest in this hadith is, Mr. Muhammad says that spread the greetings of peace between and among you. وَأَطْعِمُ الطَّعَامِ and feed the needy and the poor amongst you. My focal point is وَصَلُّوا بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ and pray at night when everyone is asleep. Now listen to the kind of statement the Prophet is making. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam could have just said وَصَلُّوا بِاللَّيْلِ, but why did he add وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ? Trying to bring to you the hour of the night that you should have this quality time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the kind of engagement. So he stresses and gives you a clue as to the time that you should be relating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, وَصَلُّوا بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ and pray in the dead of the night when the stars become hidden and the darkness intensifies and the weather becomes colder and everyone falls asleep. وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ and everyone else is asleep. When you do this, rest assured, تَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ بِسَلَامٍ you surely will enter Jannah in peace. In conclusion, therefore, much as I implore you and I invite you to make quality time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at night, I would also want to caution myself and my dear viewer and listener not to look down upon those who have not been favored and blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have munajat with Him at night, to spend quality time with Him at night, to have some kind of communion with Him at night. Mutarrif is reported as saying, as I will conclude, لَأَنْ أَبِيتَ نَائِمًا وَأُصْبِحَ نَادِمًا أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْ أَنْ أَبِيتَ قَائِمًا وَأُصْبِحَ مُعْجِبًا. Subhanallah. Mutarrif says that if I were, for one reason or another, unable to wake up at night and I wake up in the morning regretting that I was unable to spend quality time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the previous night, it is more beloved to me than to wake up at night and spend time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yet I wake up the next morning feeling that I am better than others. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.